Hi there, weary traveler. It looks like you needed some therapy. Yeah. It looks like you need to just kind of like chin up a little bit, I guess. Well, if you would like my services, I could just kind of see what I can do for your health of your mind, I guess. So, let's begin from the very, very start, I guess. From the very beginning. I have my journal here, and I'll be taking extensive notes. So, tell me, how did mommy and daddy mess you up? Only you and I and the trees will know. Yeah? Yeah, oh, I see. Right, of course. Okay. No, please. Go at your pace. I'd rather you just sort of like think about it. But before you do, I do want you to just sort of take a deep breath in for me. Okay, perfect. And then I want you to take a deep breath out. Okay, good. We always have to remember that every moment can be a reset moment, and right now one of those moments are present. So today is the there we go. Okay, so keep telling me the ways that your decisions in life have been very lacking in understanding of the consequences, I suppose. Yeah? Okay. Sure. Okay. Now, I do have a question though. Have you tried using, or have you ever paid attention or mind to any sort of like organizational tools? I would highly recommend them. Even if they seem quite overwhelming right now, I think if you were to just sort of like cut or slice up all of these tasks into little slots, maybe color code them into the days of the week. So like, for example, Monday is green, Tuesday is, I guess, red, Wednesday is yellow, Thursday is, I don't know, orange, and then Friday is blue, because obviously Friday is going to be blue. Then you can just sort of like color code your tasks according to those days as well. That way it's a little more fun and interactive to complete them as well. I think that depending on how, if you recall, considering how much information you can relay back from your childhood, I'm sure that you can also recall how it was that they gave you these organizational tools. Try to use those because they might be more instinctual for you to practice rather than the modern ones that are being taught or inculcated to the younger generation, because whatever it was that you were taught were the ones that you'll have secondhand knowledge of as a sort of like being kind of like intuitive for you, I guess, because that's what was taught to you as a child. So for example, color-coded folders, color-coded pens, sensorial sort of tools where it's something fuzzy or something sort of smooth, things like that of that nature. It's very important to get things organized. It doesn't matter what you've gone through in life as long as what you're currently facing is attainable or at least under your control. Oftentimes a lot of people who say, harken back to their childhood dysfunctions or disorders are really just sort of making excuses for why it is that they don't have their current life under control, which is valid and understandable. But also, if you can so easily pinpoint what went wrong before and blame those for not being completely on task or in order when it came to consequences that impacted you, then what excuse do you have for someone else blaming you for your lack of being out of control or for your lack of disorder? It'll just become like a domino cycle. So kind of keep that in mind as we go forward, having some generosity as to your judgment and recollections while simultaneously having a little more accountability for what could be within your control. Now, when it comes to your goals in mind when it comes to your current ambitions? Do we have those nice and organized? Do we have a sort of plan as to how we're going to get those done? Yeah? We have a plan for how we're going to get them accomplished? Okay, could you tell me, like, I don't know, a couple of little milestones that you wish to accomplish within the next year, let's say? Strike that, within the next month. Let's start off small. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. Interesting. That's a very noble goal, honestly. That's actually pretty attainable. And how are we going to get this accomplished? What kind of daily tasks are we going to be doing? What time slots are we going to be fixing this into? Are we going to be accomplishing this on the weekend? Do you want to keep your weekend clear and sort of only keep work on the weekdays? Do you want to work in the evening? If that's some work that you want to do in the evening, are you sure that you don't want to have some sort of like relaxation time? At least schedule some days to be relaxation times in the evenings. But if you do enjoy working, then this could be more considered like leisure work, where it's sort of like something that you see as voluntary, so it doesn't really feel too stressful. Something more educational, I suppose. Like an after-school sort of club. Yeah. Sort of like in the same way that it's work and it's educational, but it's not like too stressful the way that homework is, then likewise I think that we could adopt or don on that perspective when it comes to these extra tasks. So I think that was pretty good. What about a 2-month plan? Do you have any 2-month plans? Yeah, I do. If you noticed, I gave you a little notebook in front of your face. Right there. And there's a pen and a pencil right next to it in case you want to erase it or scratch it off, however you like to take notes. I prefer pen, but I would think it would be very to your benefit if you were to take notes and start to kind of detail along with how you're planning on sort of adjusting for these milestones. You see, the thing is that ultimately, although we might be grown-ups and we're in charge of those younger than us, at the end of the day, we're always still growing and developing like children, and our minds are still absorbing the world around us as long as we're exercising it and not allowing it to dwell in these temper tantrums. The more you have a temper tantrum, the more time is lost, and the more you've just kind of stunted your ability to really absorb the world around you, but rather just sort of remain trapped within yourself. So I would really appreciate it if you followed along. It would be to your benefit. So 2-month plan. Do you have any ideas or goals for the 2-month plan? Okay. Perfect. Excellent. These are actually really, really attainable. I think you could definitely do something like this. Okay. Now, let's get into the sort of like different sectors of your life, the different areas in your life. Exercise. What type of exercise do you do? None? Okay, well, ideally we're supposed to have 10,000 steps a day. So roughly like walking 5 miles a day, if not jogging 5 miles a day. So let's do 10,000 steps as the goal. You don't have to necessarily start immediately going after 10,000 steps, but adopting certain practices like going for forest walks or, being a little more active at work, going back and forth, walking, standing up, sort of jogging in place and stuff like that would definitely go a long way towards making sure that your cardiovascular health remains in tip-top shape and that your legs don't lose its musculature either. Likewise, it's best to have at least 64 ounces of water a day. That's 8 cups of water a day. Are we having 6 cups of water a day? Keep that in mind. Whatever keeps your mind sharp and your body agile will be to your benefit in the long term. That's the greatest wealth, is health in this lifetime. You could ask any elderly person who is perhaps incredibly wealthy, but if they're very sick, I'm sure that they would trade in a large vast of their wealth, which they already do, just to attain a little bit of that youth in return. It drives them mad just not having it, because it becomes like your flesh becomes like a prison, unfortunately. So I think these are really good ones. Can you think of one big project you want to accomplish within the next year? Wow, that's actually a huge project. That's actually a huge undertaking. That sounds fabulous. Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds really good. I love it. Okay, well, in that case, I'll let you get to it. I'm gonna keep going on my forest. It was a pleasure meeting you. I hope to come across you again. And yeah, I wish you well on your journey, fellow traveler.